So Josh Shapiro looks like he's going to be the Democrat vice president for 2024. And how does this affect the map that we made 2 days ago? So I want to start with Michigan, and here's why. Because one of the most important factors behind the Ben Shapiro appointment is to do with the Muslim vote and the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Now, it's being brought up as a major issue for Shapiro. We take a look at the states where Islam is most prominent in the US. Illinois, which is a deep blue state anyway. New York, which is essentially a deep blue state anyway. New Jersey, deep blue state anyway. Maryland, deep blue. Then you come to Michigan, 2.4%, and you think, well, 2.4%, that could decide an election. If we get into the numbers, right, we'll see 240,000 Muslims in Michigan. There are 4.5 million Muslims in America. 1.5 million of which are registered to vote. So 1 in 3. So you apply that to this 240,000, you get 80,000. Again, this is rough estimate, but you get 80,000. 80,000 isn't even 1% of the Michigan voter base of about 8.3 million. So you're saying under 1% is going to make a massive difference when I've got the state at lean right now. So that would be outside of that range. So really, I don't think the Muslim vote is the most important thing, and I think Muslims have made their mind up largely on Harris anyway, given the Biden-Harris administration have supported Israel throughout, even though Harris recently has made some interesting movements when Netanyahu was in the United States Congress. So very strange times. Harris is flip-flopping again. But if we head over to the map, what does this do to Michigan? I mean, it's a Rust Belt state. He's from Pennsylvania, which is kind of a Rust Belt state. So does it really make a difference? Does he make a difference in Michigan? I think yes. I think his appeal is the Rust Belt, and I think he legitimizes her campaign. I think Michigan voters are very concerned that she's not very official. He is a model political character, and I really think he could make a difference, a big difference in Michigan as opposed to anywhere else other than Pennsylvania. So, do they flip the state? No, because it's a vice president. I really can't see. Yes, the vice president will have more importance this time around than any other time, I think, because Harris is just so all over the place, and we need someone's policies to look at and go, okay, this is what we're going to get. So I do think he will make more of a difference than usual, but I don't think he'll be enough to flip Michigan. What I do think is he'll flip Virginia. He is the difference. We had it at about a 1% to Republicans. Now, Virginia, they like their candidates very well groomed, smart, and official, and he's very official. So I think he could really, really make an impact in Virginia. It's close to Pennsylvania as well. You kind of maybe have some voters that live in between somewhat. So I think he can make a difference in Virginia. Obviously, this is all down the road, so we could get 5 months down the line, or 3 months down the line. Again, I'm living in the past. 3 months down the line, and Minnesota's deep blue, or Michigan's gone completely red. You just never know what's going to happen. So this is as of right now. Also, Oregon, I think anyway is going to go back to deep blue. I don't really think it is even outside of a safe spot right now. It's just those polls that came out the other day. You kind of have to include them. So I think maybe not his influence, but I think Oregon anyway will move back. The Sunbelt, so I don't think he'll have that big of an impact in the Sunbelt. That's not really his sort of realm. We can look at the polls. What do we have them at? 1, 2, 3, sort of around. Where do we have it? Lean. So does he make it a tilt? I don't think so. But as of right now, we really can't tell. I don't think he'll make much difference in Nevada. I don't think he'll make much difference in Arizona either. I think that will stay as a likely Republican. Minnesota, he could definitely make a difference in, as we can see here. +4 against Trump. That was a Fox News poll. They had him at +4 against Trump, and Fox had Harris at +6. So really, maybe they're not as fond of him as they appear. Obviously, it's completely different roles and situation. You can't really directly compare this, but in Minnesota, does the combined ticket make it a likely state? I think probably. I do think so. Also, Nebraska, I think you could put up to maybe a lean at this point. Not that this is critical to the election. I don't think Florida moves. I don't think Texas moves. Maybe Colorado goes full blue, but again, I really don't think that's his realm. Even though he will have an impact just by being a real politician. I think Ohio stays the same. I think New York maybe goes deep blue. I think New Jersey probably you're looking at now 9-10%. So it's up to you really. New Hampshire, another one. They're going to like their candidates well groomed. I think he could, even though he's not so far left as Harris, he could still get those voters going, get Democrats going up there. So I think New Hampshire goes deep blue. So what do we have left? We have Wisconsin, we have Pennsylvania, we have Georgia. I think North Carolina stays the same. I think they're quite polarized on their voting, so I really don't think it'll make that much of a difference. So Pennsylvania is the big one. This is the big one everyone's talking about. He's got a 49% approval rating, 31 disapprove. So that's an 18-point approval. So he's really quite popular over there. Would he be the difference? I think the Butler incident is on people's minds still. It's a really tough one. It's down to a tilt. There's no question. He'll make that impact. Even if he switches it, it's still not going to be enough. I think Wisconsin is one that he could have a 1% impact on maybe, but maybe under one because it is a Rust Belt state. But I think people in Wisconsin are just so polarized on Harris. They really don't like her. So I think, again, we have Trump versus Shapiro polls here. So I think I leave Wisconsin, and then Michigan we've turned down to a lean. If we say Pennsylvania flips, which is a tough one, Georgia will definitely. If the black voters weren't getting out there before, this will really give them a reason, because not only do they have a figurehead, now they have a sort of political and economic guy. So definitely Georgia's another one that I think we haven't seen quite the reaction in the black vote that I thought we would, and I think that's still coming. So I think you'll see a Harris boost, plus this will lead us to a tilt towards Democrats. Maybe he doesn't flip all three of these. I really don't like putting that much stock in a vice president, but the point is of this exercise is even with him, they need to win Wisconsin, they need to win Michigan, or they need to win Arizona, which it doesn't look like they're going to do Arizona. So it's Michigan or Wisconsin, which is so tough. And really, do I see that happening? I think Wisconsin. I don't know. I'm pretty certain now that that's sort of going right, and Republicans are sort of locking Wisconsin down. Michigan is really a toss up now. It is completely a toss up. But you look at Virginia, you look at Georgia, you look at Pennsylvania. These are the three that matter. Nevada may be in play, but these are the three that matter. And I think if I had to make a call right now, I'd say obviously Michigan tilt, and I'd still say Pennsylvania tilt. If we look at the Pennsylvania polls, what are we looking at? A Harris improving, but then a Democrat poll has Trump up. Trump's up here. In the Bloomberg one, Trump's up. So really, just all over the place. I, I really think. I do still think it's a tilt towards Trump. It's not definitely not a lean anymore. It would be within 1%, I think. And then Georgia, you can't, because we haven't seen the black vote reaction. I assume it's coming, but if it doesn't come, then maybe it is on Trump's side. That's obviously where he was uh, charged, put on trial. So maybe a bit of empathy there towards Trump. And Virginia's definitely now a toss up and will probably go back blue. So if you want to say Pennsylvania's going to go blue, I can't disagree with you. But at the same time, I just can't flip it yet because Butler happened so recently, and I just can't put, even though it's his home state and this is just such an extraordinary election, I can't put Pennsylvania in the blue column just yet. But even if you want to, you've still got to win Michigan, which does he help you do? Certainly helps. Does he secure it? Not entirely. And so you have to win Virginia, which it looks like you're probably a little bit more likely to do. Maybe you could put it as a lean. You need to win Georgia. You need to win Pennsylvania. You need to win Michigan. That's basically how it's done. If you want to take Nevada, then whatever. But I don't think it really, in many scenarios, makes a difference. If we're saying that Georgia goes to Trump, then you need to take a Wisconsin. And even if you take the Wisconsin, if the Republicans take Nebraska, you go to the House and Republicans probably take it home. So really, I'm not willing to put too much into the Shapiro stock right now. But I'll give him Georgia, and I'd give him Virginia, and he's as a vice president, he's flipped 2 states. So and he's locked down Oregon. He's given you a boost in Minnesota. This is all hypothetical. And he's brought Pennsylvania within reach. So, really, this is the injection the election needed. And we'll see if it makes the impact the Democrats require and hope it will. But right now, it's still not looking good for the Democrats. Even though they're riding the Harris boost and now they've got this. Still, it's looking like a majorly uphill battle, but we'll have to see how it goes.